These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Militiaman article, quote, U.S. ambassador in Baghdad announces the success of mediation between Iraqi government, central bank, and U.S. Treasury, unquote. Militiaman says, do you find that to be fascinating? Because it should be. The bottom line is that the largest entities in the world is the United States Treasury and central banks. Central Bank of Iraq, the United States Treasury, and the U.S. ambassador have come to some sort of an agreement in respect to what's going on. Frank26 has an article, quote, the U.S. ambassador in Baghdad announces the success of her mediation between Iraqi central bank and the U.S. Treasury, unquote. Frank says, as we predicted, the U.S. Treasury is not dumb enough to put sanctions back on Iraq. Mark Z via PDK says, I've been told by at least 3 different contacts to expect a very fruitful week. A number of sources think that this week we will see our release. We shall see. I am hopeful, but do not know the timing. Claire article, quote, an upcoming visit of an Iraqi government delegation to America to discuss the issue of the exchange rate, unquote. Another quote, there are fears of a further decline in the value of the dinar, unquote. Claire says, noting that there is a vision among the leaders of the coordination framework and the state administration, as well to send a delegation representing the Iraqi government to discuss this issue with the U.S. Federal Bank and discuss it with its threats, risks, and present proposals to address the situation, unquote. Jeff says the budget and the rate change, which are very much linked together, they're like 2 peas in a pod. The budget cannot be implemented because it's structured budget in a way that it can only be implemented at a specific certain time. That's why, as of right now, you haven't seen the budget implemented yet. Neither have you seen the rate change. Everything can only happen at a specific time. Frank26, Iraq Boots on the Ground report, Firefly says, news showing Soudani meeting with CBI Governor Locke talking about measures to make the dinar strong and stable in the markets and talking about reforms. CBI saying nothing should be higher than the official CBI exchange rate of the street, which is $13.20. Wolverine via Judy Buying Things Sunday on the 30th July, quote, very early today I received intel from a very high contact. I can't tell you what they said other than things are progressing. Everything is ready. It won't happen today, but we may have very good news this week. Walking Stick says it is more sound, it is more logical, it is safer at the onset that the rate should be at least 1-to-1 with the American dollar. Then a gradual increase via an international basket that floats the currency is very realistic. Caparoni has a community comment, quote, the reinstatement is unfolding in the most appropriate way possible. There are many different forces at play, and there are reasons why the RV is happening the way it is, unquote. Caparoni says the money supply in Iraq is over $80 trillion. The net worth of the country is only $16 trillion US dollars. There is no way they can RV the currency. Mark Z via PDK says people I've spoken to who have crunched the numbers said it needs to be at least $1.30 to make sense for Iraq. If they're going to do it that way, I am still hearing that we will have a contract rate no matter how they do it because they need it for the oil for dinar program. Militiaman says a lot came out 4 or 5 days ago with a 5-page report specifically saying the Delete the Zeros project still exists. He stated specifically that al-Sudani is still in support of the Iraqi dinar. Frank26 says to lift the 3 zeros is to lift the 3 zeros from the exchange rate is to lift the 3 zeros from the currency notes. They will introduce to you the lower denomination notes to replace those 3-0 notes they removed. The lower denominations are without the zeros. And lastly, Mountain Goat says, I know for a fact they must reinstate the dinar to satisfy their plans to revive Iraq and to make it a hub for the Middle East. This is their plan. They know they have to reinstate the dinar to do it. This is just not Mountain Goat speaking, but the IMF, World Bank, and CBI. You have come this far in the process. Don't give up now. We are about to cross the finish line very soon.